in a good focus group, you don't know what people want to say. One young man in the focus group got up and talked about his girlfriend becoming pregnant and how much she wanted to say. He was looking forward to it. He was excited about it and everything. But he said, but after all, she wanted the abortion, so I got her over to the abortion clinic because it's her choice anyway. And we just watched this young man for 3 minutes get teared up about how much he wanted to say. And so this is what the abortion industry is seeing. But the abortion industry, this is critically important for us to understand. They also understand that people don't like abortion. What's the big thing they're working on right now? They're trying to reduce what they call, you see, when you look at abortion stuff, you hear stigma all the time. Stigma, stigma, stigma. They're talking about stigma. Because, now we saw this in our focus groups. Interesting thing, the same people that were talking about gray areas, we got to the point of saying, we took a break. Because everybody was saying, gray areas, people can decide. We took a break, we came back in, and the moderator went back into this group and said, everybody's talking about gray areas, isn't it? We just want to know, does it matter how late the pregnancy is? Like, it's in the 9th month of pregnancy, is that still fine? All of a sudden, everybody's arms folded up, and the room got really tense, and we saw this conflict. And this is where young people are at right now. This is where America's at right now. It's easy to say, well, everybody should have a right to decide. Oh, really? So the moment before birth? Well, no, not then. Polls have kind of always shown that, but that still is what's happening right now. The abortion industry knows that. They also know that they have a problem because abortion is not positive. It's not a warm and fuzzy as much as they try to make it a warm and fuzzy. There's somebody from the DuPont Institute said, talking about the humane fetal disposal laws, said if you're talking along the lines of burial and cremation, you're talking about what happens to a human being when a human passes. You're trying to make that connection in people's minds. This can be stigmatizing. That's what the DuPont Institute said. Why did she say that? The abortion industry has a problem. So there it is. I just outlined to you the 3-part plan of what the abortion industry is doing. Number 1, rely on judges to serve as a firewall to keep the law in place. Number 2, create regional alliances of which you are a test market, just in case Roe falls. Number 3, win the cultural tipping point. Except to win the cultural tipping point, it's checkmate. Whichever side of the abortion debate wins the cultural tipping point, it becomes checkmate in the entire abortion issue. The good news is we know exactly where the abortion industry is coming from. That's the good news of this. And we were kidding ourselves. If we ever thought that, well, they're going to give up if this happens or that happens. And that's not the case. That's not the case. And they're fighting harder, if you will, than they have even before. And I know this gives you a lot to be concerned about. Here's what I want to prepare to wind into so that you leave here. I don't want you to leave tonight saying, I'm really depressed after my speech. I want you to actually be encouraged. Because first of all, we know what they're doing. We know the plan. But secondly, more than anything else, I believe that the abortion industry, their plan will fail, and will fail for several specific reasons. One of those reasons is there are tens of millions of women and men who have been involved with abortion. Why does abortion have a stigma problem? Because of the tens of millions of women and men who have had abortions have said of the men that have paid for the abortions. And those women are now saying, this wasn't a great exercise in my freedom. This wasn't what I was told it was going to be. It's not positive amongst those who have had abortions. I won't get into the things that they try and wipe that away, but their plan also, at its core, fails to account for a God who is the creator of life. And a God who has all power, all authority, all dominion, who loves every mom, every baby, no matter what. And that God will not be contained. That God simply will not be contained by any legislation, any political party, any bank accounts. The abortion plan does not account for him. It says that he doesn't exist, or it's an absent-minded old man who's just out there, doesn't really care what's happening. They're mocking into his face. And I know the God of the universe, and I know he will not be mocked. He will say things right. So their plan will fail. If there is anybody in the room tonight who maybe came and maybe Planned Parenthood sent you here to see what the God is saying is right in life, the abortion industry would take the last paragraph that I shared with you and say, that's a joke. If you're here tonight and you're in the abortion industry, it's not a joke. This is your opportunity. Walk away tonight. The abortion industry absolutely fails to account for how much millennials actually know. Do you realize, not only millennials, everybody that's alive right here, and that includes all of us in this room, we know more about the development of human life scientifically, biologically, than any other generation that's ever walked the face of the earth. You realize that? Back in the day, Back in 1986, when my wife was pregnant with our son, 1986, she went to see an ultrasound. Let's be honest, guys in the room, I mean, you see those old ultrasounds, and your wife is saying, look at that. And you're like, yeah, I see that. It's like fuzzy and everything. You're trying your best to make it all out. Have you seen ultrasounds lately? Wow. Talk about the absolute clarity of how clear it is. And then all the scientific developments, the surgeries on spina bifida and other things that are happening in the womb, it's absolutely incredible. Research last year showed that babies actually develop facial recognition in the womb. There's so many cool things that are happening that millennials don't miss. And the abortion industry plan is hoping that millennials put all of that knowledge on the side and say, it's not a baby, it's not a baby, it's not a baby. But yet, you can go to things like I did with when my daughter was pregnant with her first grandchild. It was like a movie theater. There's this huge big screen TV, there's the sound, there's leather sofas. I mean, I thought we were going to see Star Wars or something. And here comes, it's brutal, and granted, you're trying to keep from crying and stuff. They show all these pictures, and bam, there's your granddaughter on the screen. It's like, oh, that's too cool. That's what they do nowadays. It's cool stuff like that. Even gender reveal parties are a big thing now. There's different things like that, and even they've been exposed to TV commercials. 2016, Doritos, of all things, Doritos ran a Super Bowl ad that shocked a lot of people. You Google it. They ran a Super Bowl ad featured in a movie. Millennials are all privy to that. So their plan counts on millennials turning that all off in their logical mind, and we think they're going to fail with that. And then to top it all off, millennials are passionate about things like human rights and justice and fairness and being kind to others. We want to talk about social justice, and social justice is killing unborn babies. We want to talk about inequality. It's inequality when you see the abortion rates devastatingly more high in black women. We want to talk about diversity. Diversity is a description of God's creative design in the womb. How two people in this room are alike tonight. What a diverse God we have. That's incredible. I want to talk about civil rights. It's an outrageous violation of civil rights. When you can abort the baby because of the color of that baby's skin. How can that not be a violation of civil rights? Thank God Kentucky passed that law. Indiana passed it. They did not get our appeal. Basically, Justice Thomas said, we're waiting for another district. It only came up to the 7th Circuit. We're waiting for another circuit. So if your law is upheld, guess what? Justice Thomas is going to say, we need to hear this at the Supreme Court level. Bullying, pulling a baby apart in the womb is the cruelest part of bullying. You want to talk about inclusion? It's a total denial of inclusion to say the smallest and most helpless member of the human family is not going to be protected because of where that baby resides. The abortion plan presumes on all of this, but there is one thing that I think I'm going to jump ahead here to go a little bit late on time. Perhaps we're going to show this on the screen. One of the things with millennials is they clearly see the clash in culture when it comes to unborn children. One of the most fascinating places that you can go to, I hope that some of you have been there. If not, I encourage you to go there. Shanksville, Pennsylvania, where Flight 93 during its 9/11 attacks. You can go to the National Memorial, Flight 93. I've been there with 2 of my millennial kids. Just to give you a teaser on it, you will not know what to say when you're there. It's a place of silence. When you go there, there's a wall. That wall follows the flight of 93. It follows the flight. That's it right there. That follows the direct path 93 took before it flipped upside down and hit the field. And on that wall, this is a national historic site run by our own federal government. This is a national historic site. You'll see Lauren Bertuzzi Grandpolis, originally from Bloomington, Indiana. She died on that flight. And on that wall next to her name it says, an unborn child. It does not say fetus, it does not say product of conception, it says an unborn child. That is a national historic site. Perhaps the most significant thing that the abortion industry has failed to account for is the resiliency and the hope of people just like you and me. They don't get it. They do not get it. We lose in the courts. It's funny. It's not funny. It's ironic to put it that way. I don't mean this disparagingly to any media people in the room. It's just true. When the pro-life side wins one in the courts, I rarely get a call for an interview. When we take one on the chin, everybody wants to talk about it. That's the way it is. And when we face these defeats in the court, we get right back up again and say we're going to come at it from a different angle, or we're going to appeal it, or we just come right back at it again. They call us extremists and fanatics. We pray for them. They outspend us with ungodly amounts of revenue, and we make what little we have, or I should say, God makes what little we have go and stretch to meet all of our needs. They say you don't care about women. Kentucky's network of centers shows otherwise. Recently, a national pro-abortion watchdog group said this. This is a quote. Here's the thing about anti-choice activists. They just don't stop. I did a television thing in Bloomington. It was a forum of like 7 people. I quickly learned I was the one sacrificial conservative on the panel, and I was interested. But during the actual filming, the professor just looked at me in this panel and he said, one of the things I don't understand about you people, anytime somebody says you people, you probably got a problem that's coming up. But he said, one of the things I don't understand about you people, you don't want an abortion, you don't have one, but why is it your business as to whether everybody else wants one? I am the dullest tool in the shed when it comes to quick responses on stuff. I fully admit that. So it's totally of God that as he's saying that, I'm thinking, how do I respond to this? And my response to it was just like God put it in my heart, and that's where I went. This was back during the time when the partial birth abortion ban was going through Congress. So I took that wide open opportunity on live public television in this forum to say, here's why. And I walked through exactly, before an audience larger than this one, and figuring out how many people were watching it, I walked through exactly how a partial birth abortion happens. And when I got done, I looked at him and I said, that's why we don't stop. Planned Parenthood CEO was on that panel, CEO at that time, and she immediately reached out her hands in a Mother Teresa-like way to the audience. This is so ridiculous. There are only 1,500 of those that happen every year. I just described pulling a baby fully alive and puncturing the skull with scissors, taking the brains out, at which point she reached out and said, only 1,500 of these happen every year. God's reality is that a lesser movement would not survive the setbacks we face. We've been knocked down plenty of times before. We get back up. We're not a lesser movement. We will come back, we will come back, we'll come back. We're not impressed with Planned Parenthood's $90 million. We're not intimidated by activists. Judges we're not going to hold because Hollywood's mad at the state of Georgia. They don't get it. They don't understand this. They don't understand the level of commitment here. And I'm going to close with this tonight. If you've heard nothing else that I've said tonight in this presentation, I hope that you're going to hear this very simple question I'm asking every single person in this room. How are you investing your life? How are you investing in your life in making the world a better place for every mom and every baby? Not what is the legislature doing, not what is the president doing. What are you doing? What are you doing to invest your life to make the world a better place for moms and babies? Throughout the years, I've heard this, my wife's had people tell her this, it's always kind of discouraging, but over the years, I've had people say, there's no solution to abortion, there's no solution to it. They're completely wrong, because every single one of us in this room, when you invest your life to save a mom and a baby from abortion, you become the solution. That's not a tagline, I firmly believe that. My involvement goes back to 1985, 86, somewhere around there. Where did it start for me? I was sitting on a stoplight, 5:30 in the morning. 66 Ford Falcon, my dad gave me, so I could drive back and forth to work, so I was putting myself in college. I had just watched Eclipse of Reason, Bernard Nathanson, he was a speaker here. I just watched this film. And on a Sunday afternoon, on Monday morning, 5:30, I'm sitting at the stoplight. And I still remember it. I said, God, I don't know what I can do. I'm a factory worker. I'm a college student. My wife and I have no money. I think we had one, maybe 2 little babies at that time. I know nothing about politics. I can't do anything. But I'm here. Use me if you can. That's most dangerous prayer that you pray. You realize that? So what are you doing this time? When you invest your life in loving others instead of being drawn into all the mean-spirited violence today, you become the solution. When you invest your life by refusing to look the other way when an unborn child's life is threatened, you become the solution. When you invest your life by giving abundantly of your financial resources, you become the solution. When you invest your life by speaking up for the unwanted, the unplanned, the inconvenient, the helpless, the disabled, you might be in a professional capacity, maybe in a hospital, where you could look the other way on stuff, but you won't. You become part of the solution. When you stand on a sidewalk just a few feet away from a woman who's entering in to have an abortion in just a few minutes, and you help her choose life, Angela Cornell, you become the solution. That's how we change the world. You become the solution. All things considered, I mean this with full respect. It's easy to vote. In America, it's easy to vote. It's easy to talk about what you saw on Fox News tonight. It's easy to say, well, Hannity said this today, or Rush said this today. It's easy to go down those roads. If you want to be a troll and go on Facebook and troll everybody, it's easy to do that. Anybody can be an anonymous troll on Facebook, let's face it. It's easy to do all that stuff. That doesn't change the world. It's a lot harder to invest your life. It is a lot harder to invest your life. Some of you in this room have already made that decision to do it. Many of you are still holding back. Many of you are saying right now, I didn't want to come tonight. Somebody dragged me to this event. I was really personal. I make no apologies for that. I think ask them no apologies for it. Because I've invested 30 some odd years of my life doing this, and I'm looking back and it's the most wonderful people that I've ever met. I'm saying to you, if you've not yet jumped in the pool, tonight is the night. We're at a point of urgency. If you haven't noticed yet, we are in a dark and a dying and a desperate world. Don't believe me? Watch the news tonight when you get home. I thought last night, we have one news now on our Roku thing. You can look at every news station in the country if you want to be really impressed. In the span of 10 minutes, I went to Wyoming News, Idaho News, Nashville, Tennessee News, Indianapolis News. They could have been scripted exactly the same. Somebody gave them a script and said, every news anchor, here's what you read tonight. And none of it was good. Not a single one of it was good. Some of it was punctuated with shooting here and there, but we are in a dark world that needs people to invest in life. I prayed earlier when I started this presentation. None of us are here by accident. God chose you. We talk about God choosing each child when each child was yet in his mother's womb. Okay? God chose you while you were still in your mother's womb. Make a difference in this world. It's interesting that Jesus said, store up for yourselves treasure in heaven, where moth and rust do not destroy, where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Where's your heart? Where's your treasure? Show me where the treasure is, or did Jesus show you where the heart is? So tonight, how are you going to respond? We're here tonight to be inspired, informed, educated, and we're here tonight to raise funds. You have on your table this envelope. I'm going to ask everybody right now to reach for this envelope on your table. And in this envelope, pull this out, you're going to have a pledge form. And on this pledge form, you're going to see a lot of different information for you to fill out tonight before you leave. Let me say this right up front, loud and clear. This is a strange time in the United States of America. If you're in here tonight, you've lost your job, you can pray for Kentucky Right to Life and Louisville Right to Life. See, everybody's got a place on this form. As you look at this, Louisville Right to Life is raising money to put beautiful advertisement on buses that are going to be all over this metro area, all over the area. Beautiful images with a message that this community needs. How will this message get to the community without supporting it? This is not going to happen with just a few dollars. This needs strong financial support. Some of you in this room, you can do the $10, $15, $20 level. I'm praying that there are some of you in this room, you can do this $10,000 level tonight. And as you look at this form, if you look at the different giving levels that are here, here's my challenge to you. The one that your eyes immediately went to, and then your brain said, well, maybe the one less than that would be okay. Go with the one your eyes were immediately going to. I'm serious about that. What has God placed on your heart? Where's your treasure? Where's your heart? So I want to ask you to check off what giving level you can do. And you can see that you can enclose your check, you can make a monthly gift if you want to process the Visa or MasterCard, you can do that. You do need to check off on this form. It says my gift needs to be tax deductible. If it needs to be tax deductible, you must make that check out to Right to Life and Education Foundation. If it does not need to be tax deductible, you make that check out to Right to Life and Louisville. You need to check that box off so we know exactly where you want your gift to go. And then fill completely all that information out at the bottom so that the folks in the office know what to do with this in the morning. And I'm going to ask everybody at each table, one person at each table to kind of take charge of making sure all the envelopes are put together to lose the whole game. Remember what I said about the abortion industry thinking it could break the back of the pro-life movement in Kentucky? If it can break the back of the pro-life movement in Kentucky, it can break it anywhere. I think to lose Kentucky, is to lose the whole game.
Anyway, my thanks for coming and alerting us to some of that latest information that you have. We truly appreciate it. And as a token of your coming and spending the evening with us, we know you like to read, we know you like to write. I didn't inscribe the beginning of it because if you already have it, then you can bring it back. But anyway, the case for Trump, Victor Davis Hanson, and you know how good he is. I think he's my favorite. So thank you much. We truly appreciate it.
Thank you all for coming, and now I would like to ask Pastor Cecil Blye to close our meeting with a prayer.
I don't know how tall Margie is. I know she's got these high heels on, so she's shorter than she's making out to be tonight. I believe that the job she has done is tall as the clouds above this building. Would you agree with me? Let's give her a nice family to go to prayer, but I take 45 seconds to preach. And the reason why is because I'm supposed to be preaching tonight. It might be sitting for another time, then they had to move it. And so I had a preaching engagement for tonight. And so I told Margie's assistant, there was a conflict. I called back from them. It was on the voicemail, and the assistant said, Margie wants to talk with you. Then I didn't call back right away. And so then I got a voicemail from Margie. She said, Cecil, I understand there may be some sort of conflict, but I really need you to pray at the banquet because you always pray. Would you call me? And here are my numbers. Here's my home number. Here's my cell number. Here's the office number. And you can call me at any time. So I announced the preaching engagement. I got one person to preach for me so that I could be here to pray. I'm going to preach tonight because I'm going to preach. Give me 45 seconds, I promise. I swear y'all out of here. I just want to piggyback over what Mike said. You know, he was talking about how Kentucky was targeting these West Coast folk. I was just thinking, you hear about a giant like that. What's so important is not how big the problem is, but what you say about the problem. The Bible, where they were going to the promised land, they said on 12 sides, it's by the land. And then the land is great. They got grapes, just huge grapes that carry on holes. But these giants, they're huge and their walls will go up to heaven. And we are like grasshoppers in our own sight. We are like grasshoppers in their sight. But they forgot to think how they look in God's sight. 10 said, we cannot take the land. But 2 said, we are well able. I want you to know, Kentucky, we are well able. God put in the giants. And so, when you face something like that, the important thing is not how big what you face is. The important thing is what you say about it. And I say you are well able. What you got in your hands. Father, in the name of Jesus Christ, you are well able because you are bigger than what we face. Lord, 50 years. Seriously? Wow. God, you're not playing. Lord God, 50 years? Lord, we're so grateful. We have marched for 50 years. We are grateful. We have lobbied for 50 years. We are grateful. We have prayed for 50 years. We have politics for 50 years. We have passed legislation and introduced legislation and had legislation be kicked out and we brought it back again and had it passed. Lord God, 50 years, seriously? We are so grateful. God, we are so grateful for what you've done, the progress that's been made. You have changed people's minds and changed people's hearts. People who used to be for abortion are now pro-life. President Trump, God, seriously? Amazing. God, you're big. But God, even though you've been so big for the past 50, God, I know you're going to be bigger for the next 50. As believers and people of faith, we can decree and declare a thing. You said, speak to the mountain, it shall be removed. You said that life and death are in the power of the tongue. And Father God, it's good to be for the past 50. God, you're going to be better for the next 50. And I decree and declare in the name of Jesus Christ that the next 50 years, Roe v. Wade will be overturned. And in the next 50 years, we'll have a constitutional amendment prohibiting abortion. In the next 50 years, every state will say, we have decided to come in line and be pro-life, give an abortion in our state because we love the unborn. Every state and all my brothers and sisters will sit down at the table of community and see that we learn as an 8-year-old in Sunday school class, that is, Jesus loves little children. All the children of the world, red and yellow, black and white, they are precious in his sight. Jesus loves little children of the world. Thank you for the last 50, but Lord, I know you're going to show out even stronger than this 50. In Jesus Christ's name, amen.
All right, that's it. Thank you all for coming. See you next year.